Assalamu alaikum and welcome to part three. Sorry for stopping that part two abruptly. I had a small work over there at that time. So in part three, we are actually discussing the same thing, the binary file. In the last part, that is part two, we discussed in detail that why a binary file is required, why we read it, and what are the common uses of it, and how the bytes or the key records are there, how you can find out the position, and you are actually going to write down inside it using the position already known, and all the records are of the same size. Basically, you are converting it into a binary file. So the file name which is actually going to be there is going to be not txt this time, it's going to be dat format, that is data format. So the format name or the extension name is that is dat over there. So now in this part over there, I'm going to discuss that how you are actually going to make this file and how you are actually going to write and read in this file over there. For this purpose, the process is exactly the very same over there. And for this purpose, I'm just going to show you initially that how you are actually going to make it over there. Now, if you remember it, that in the last part when we were discussing that, we had something like this over there. We had a file ptr over there, and then we had to open a file, and that was either in whatever mode, w or b or something, or r over there. Now I'm going to take this exact same program and edit it according to it to make it into a binary file or a random access file over there. For this purpose, let's say I have a file, I'm going to call it, let's say, binary file.c. And in that binary file, I'm just copying the details of that code which we have done. And I am just going to take whatever is inside this else statement off of it. And here I'm not making a sequential file. I'm actually making a binary random access file. So here, just to change it over there, I'm going to call it BFPTR because this is a binary file BFPTR. Again, initializing is equal to null initially, and then afterwards, I'm going to change this pointer name because the pointer name is changed. And this time, this is also going to change because that is going to be the file close declaration over there. Now, when you have done this over there, uh, afterwards, the next thing very important is that you are actually going to make a binary file. So this time the file is not going to be binary.txt or something, it's going to be binary.dat. Now, when you are going to make a binary.dat format over there, so this means that, and it's going to be W, but here since you want to have a binary mode over there, so this will be WB. Now, what does WB mean? So for those who still don't remember it from part one or part two, I have discussed this one. The modes were discussed in part one, and there was a whole table for that modes, and this was that mode over there. So if you have a WB, this means it's going to write down a binary file. So the first of all, it's going to create a file, and then it's going to write down inside it. I'm just going to write down some data inside it over there. And the function which I am going to use it after opening it is actually the same function which is over here in this slide over there. This is the write function, and then I have the read function. So if you want to write down something, the function is fwrite. Remember, you are not going to use the same fprintf and all those statements over there because they were actually putting strings or numbers over there. Now you only have to put binary data that is in form of bytes over there. So the function is totally different for the binary file or the random access file over there. The parameters are very simple. The first thing is if you are going to write down, supposedly the address of the variable which you are actually going to print. So it's actually going to be the address of the memory location over there. So number is a variable over there. So this is and is added. Of course, it's actually going to be the address. So this is going to be the address of the data to write. And then the second parameter is always going to be the number of bytes which you are going to write down over there. Now this is size of int over there, which means that you are actually, this number is actually an integer. So you are actually going to write down size of int over there. So this means that 4 bytes, because I'm talking about the GCC compiler, integer has 4 bytes in the memory. So you are going to, and the next parameter is actually going to be the number of items. Now, supposedly if this number was a integer array, if this number was an integer array, then it will actually take on the first value, second value, third value, fourth value, if this one was equal to 4. But here, this is just a simple number. It's just a simple variable with 4 bytes of data, just one value. So it will be just one. And the last thing is going to be the file pointer at which you want to write down. Now, if here you write down again std in over there, then it of course, sorry, std out over there, then it's going to be the output to the screen over there, but again in form of binary over there. So this is actually going to be the command for writing down this. So I'm just going to copy this command and go back over there. And over here, you can see over there, I'm using the WB command. So I'm just going to write down something. So it's going to check on that if this file is created. At present, this is does not have any file such as binary.dat. There is a dat format, students.dat. And remember, this dat format file cannot be opened inside any notepad file or any other editor over there, because this is a binary file and it's not human readable. This is something very important. It's not human readable. So here, when you have it something like this, so if this is passed on, which means the file is opened. If it is not there, it will be created. Then afterwards, inside the else statement, I'm just going to write down this fwrite. Now, before fwrite, let me just initialize number equal to 12 over there. So I have created a variable 12 number, a variable number, which is integer, and that's 12. So I am actually going to now write this value, which is actually number over here inside my file, which is actually binary.dat wb equal to null over there. When it goes on beyond this, then it's going to write down this value, which is fwrite and number size of int only one of this thing, which means that 4 bytes. One over there, bftr is actually the pointer to that file, which is actually binary.dat. You have opened it, and after the execution of this, it will close the file and this will terminate. Nothing will be printed on over there, but the point of it, because we are writing a binary file, we are not reading the file at present. So what will happen at present, you can see in this chapter number 11 folder at this left hand side, I don't have any binary.dat file. So when I'm going to run this file now, let's just see, I'm going to run this file. So when this running will be complete, now you can see over there, there is a binary.dat file over there. And if I click it inside Visual Studio Code, it will not display anything, because this is a binary file and it cannot be displayed over there. The file is not displayed because it is either a binary or used as an unsupported text encoding. You can't see this file. So this file is created. There was nothing printed over there. Now I want to read this file back. Supposingly, I want to read this file has been created over there. So now what I want to do now, this file is created. I want to read the same statement over there from the file back. So let's just say I have this file over there. And now over here, let me just, in fact, let me just initialize a variable over there. That will be int value over there. And over here, I am just commenting out this fwrite because I now don't want to write down. And now I want to read the value from the file. Now I want to read the value from the file over there. And I am now going to read it inside the value variable. Now this read is going to be done with the value coming on from the file. What is the size? It's going to be 4 bytes read over there. It will be just one of those 4 bytes over there. So a cluster of 4 bytes, one of them is going to be read, and it's going to be stored inside the value variable. And at the same time, one thing very important, I want to print it to my viewers, or actually the screen. So what I'm going to do, the value read is equal to, and here I'm just going to, now since this is going to be integer, so I'm just going to use %d, and here I am going to use the value. So now what I'm going to run this program, it should now read the value from the binary file over there, and this will be printed over here inside my terminal over there. Now, there is going to be one problem. I will just show you afterwards after I run this program, and this will be evident to you that you have to be very careful when you're doing this thing. So I will just run this first, and then I will tell you the problem. Now, when I've run this, you can see the value read over there is equal to 1. But previously, the value which I had stored inside that file is 12. Now, why this is happening? Now, this is a garbage value. Why? Because the file open is there, but the mode by which I am opening the file is WB. Now, if I want to read a file, if I go back on that table which I had over there, that table should be memorized to you. That table is something very, very important. And that table actually tells you that in WB road, you can only write a binary file. Now, if you make it WB plus, then it is read or write binary. If you make it WB plus, then it is read or write binary. It creates or erases over there. Or if you make it RB, then it's going to be read. Now, just for the case over here for RB, because I'm just reading it, I'm just going to make it RB. Now I'm going to run it and let's see if my answer is there or not. I guess the file name has been changed or something. Maybe the value, it has to be RB binary.dat. It's not giving me the exact answer. It's storing inside read over there. I may be doing some mistake over there. In fact, let me just do one thing. Let me just have WB plus over there. I'm not doing some mistake over there. The value read is 1. Okay, let me just make it equal to 0, initialize it. I'm not writing down anything. I'm just, okay. So this means fread is not working. So the problem here is fread. So let me just go back if I'm doing some mistake. Remember one thing, checking is something very, very important. And I'm doing this thing so that you can have it. So you are actually going to read it inside this read and write raw bytes over there, same as fwrite. You are going to read the binary data inside this number. And I guess nothing is different over there. Why is the reason I'm not getting the binary.dat format, and this is WB plus printf over there? It should be working. It should be practically working over there. Acha, let me just make this thing and fwrite first and int number. I'm just going to write down first over there. Okay, now when I'm doing this thing, the value read is 18749304888. Over there, this is garbage because of course it's giving me a garbage value because I have not initialized value over there. And at the same time, supposingly I have this read also. Let's say I have read this also. Now this will again be, let's just see over here, the problem over there. Again, this is wrong. Why? The problem is it that whenever you have the binary file in front of you, you're writing down, the pointer to that file moves on to the next line or the next data. So here, after writing down something, you have to bring the pointer to that file back over there. And for that purpose, the file, the command which is used for that one is called as, I'm just going to go on directly on that slide. That is called as fseek function. Now, what is this fseek function? This is something very important because you are not going on the start of the file. Now, what is this fseek? As the name suggests, it's going to seek it inside. So fseek is equal to file ptr, that will be bfptr. Offset means that number of bytes to move. Now, since I just want in the start of the file, so this will be 0 at that particular time. Whence over there is going to be a programmed constant over there, and that will be, if I want from the beginning of the file, then it will be seek underscore set. If I want from the current position, it will be seek underscore current. If I want from the end of the file, that will be seek underscore end. So I have to use this function first whenever I want to read it. So if I have made the file, let me just now make this fwrite gone. And before it, fseek, I have the bfptr. I hope I will now find out over here. And in offset, I will write down just 0 because I am having just one value inside it. And here, I am going to write down seek underscore the set. So now when I'm going to, before reading, I'm making the cursor, just like a cursor over there. I'm making it at the initial 0, and now I'm going to read it. Now let's see, does it give me the value 12 over there, which is saved already? I have not changed anything inside it. So let's just see what happens. Does it give me that value or not? Okay, it's still not giving me the value. So this is some issue because this should be working over there. BFPTR, and size of int 1 and value read. Percentage D is confirmedly okay. Printf value is there. Fread. Okay. And if I have the write function also, let's see, I have the write function also. Okay, so this means that bfptr is, I'm writing down the function, the file, and binary file, I can't open that file, so that's totally empty. But when I'm writing down the file, I'm not seeking any data. So this is a very important thing, which I am also learning over here. So I'm writing down the file. Let me just write down some file, and the value read will be gibberish. It will be garbage. Okay, well and good. First of all, no problem. So now file is there. Now file is there. I'm just going to open it again. This time I'm not going to write down something, and I'm going to have the cursor brought to 0. So when I'm going to make it this one, again, this is garbage. Why this is garbage? Now, this is actually the problem over there. The problem is this, that I am actually having a garbage seek underscore set. That's completely true. 0 is there. Actually, one thing I can do before I guess this thing, uh, let me just delete this binary dot dat. So when I'm now going to open this thing, now this time the file not be run. Why? Because there is no binary.dat file over there. It will be created over there, and it has no value. It has no value inside it. So this is just a check over there. So if I have this binary.dat removed over there, and I have this WB plus created over there, and here this time I am now having fseek, fread, and this is fwrite over there. I hope I'm not doing some mistake. I have written down over here, and then after writing down, the file is now there. And let's just change the mode. Actually, maybe the mode is giving me a problem. So let's just say I'm reading a value. I'm not writing down something. So now I'm changing the mode over there. I'm just reading something, and I have fseek as you used. And now I want to. Okay, now it's giving me the answer. The problem is the mode. See, you have to play with these things. The mode is actually the problem. So whenever you want to read something, change the mode to RB. If you want to write down something, change it to WB. Now, this is something very interesting for me to learn also, because here, this mode chart is something very, very important. Don't be confused by this problem which is happening over there. Technically, WB plus. Okay, the problem I have got it. The problem is this: when I was writing down a file WB plus. Now remember this thing. When I was writing down the file WB, it was writing down the binary file. But when I have made it WB plus, it was erasing the old file, making a new file, and of course, it was going to be gibberish because the previous value was erased. So when I want to actually read and write a binary file which is already there, then it will be RB plus. So now with RB plus, this should be working. So the point is with RB plus, now this should be working very carefully. Now you can see over there RB plus. If I have just the fwrite command, now that I guess I have got the problem over there. So I'm just the only reason I'm giving you the simple plain thing over there. I'm writing down, file is there. I have put on RB plus value over there. So RB plus value is written over there. Now here, RB plus here means, remember, RB plus here means read or write a binary file. Okay? If I make it WB plus, then it will be read or write, but it will erase the previous one. It will erase the previous one over there. So now over here, when I have written it inside it over there, now in the same mode, because this is RB plus, it can read and write both without erasing it. So now I am making fseek over there. And now I am reading the value, and now I am going to print that value as well. So now when I'm going to print it, this will be 12. Now, let's do one more thing. Since the file is there, it has one entry over there. So let's just say I have the file over there. I'm opening that file. So now let's say, let me just make another number. Int number 1 is equal to, let's say, 24. Int number 2 is equal to 36. I'm just making multiples of 12 over there. And now this time, let's say I'm writing down 1, 2, and 3. And here this time, this is number 1, this is number 2. So what I'm doing now, I'm now writing in that already 12 file, I'm writing down another value of 12, another value of 24, another value of 36. Remember, 12 is already written. So one value is already written over there. So now 12, 24, 36 are being added over there. So now when I've written this inside it, afterwards, now I want to read supposedly the value of number 2. Okay. So what will happen over there? Now what I will do over there, this time, this offset is not going to be 0. So what I'm going to do over here, this will be equal to, since what is integer? Integer has 4 bytes. So this means 4 multiplied by size of, and inside I will have int. Now what it will do over there, it will take me to the fourth value which is stored inside it, because there are like 5 values or 4 values over there. This will take me to the fourth value over there, that is 4 multiplied by 4, that will be 16 bytes over there. That is going to be the point. So now when I'm going to read it, this value which is going to be read is going to be, let's see, it's going to be at 12, 24, 36 or whatever. So now let's just run this program and just see. When I run this one, you can see now the value is minus 16. Now, what this is telling you? This is telling you that this is showing you a negative value. Now, let's say change it to 3 over there. Okay. Now, this is changed to 3 over there. Is this going to give me the answer? Still negative value. Why? Give me in the comment section why this is giving me a negative value. Here, this 3 is the formula for this 3 over here. If I just go back on the same slide which we were doing at that particular time, is this this thing over this, where is my fseek over there? I have to go back on the fseek. Okay, the record position fseek. So here, offset is equal to account minus 1 multiplied by the size of that whatever. Now here I'm not using a structure to be stored over there. I'm using an integer over there. So I have account minus 1 over there. So whatever account number I'm talking about. Why? Because account number here, this is example from the book over there. So this is actually using the word account over there. So account minus 1. So if you want to access account number 37, so this will be 37 minus 1, 36 multiplied by 40. This will be 1400. And why this is so? Why subtracting 1? Because file starts at byte 0. Now, just to verify what I'm doing over there, let's just say over there, before this thing, let's just say I have WB plus. So what I'm doing now, I'm erasing everything. Remember, WB plus means I'm erasing the previous data, and I'm putting 12, 24, and 36, 3 values inside it. And now I want to make or read the fourth value inside it. Now, what is fourth value? Fourth value is nothing there. It's empty. So here, let's just say I want to measure the third value. So 3 minus 1 multiplied by this value. So what is this 3? 3 is that third value I want to read, minus 1, again using the same formula over there, multiplied by size of int over there. So let's just see now what does this value print over there. So value read at third location. So this is actually third location. And I run this of, hopefully this is going to be 36. Yes, this is 36. So what was the problem? I'm deliberately doing these mistakes over there so you can actually understand. So problem was it that the previous file, it was not having the same entries as I told you. So remember one thing, whenever you're opening a file, the mode is something very, very important. You should know it is either WB, it is RB. So if you are using WB, remember whenever you are going to open a file, it's going to be erased off and a new value is going to be there. Now, since value is there, now value is there. Now, since file is there, it has 12, 436. Now, if I make it RB plus, now if I make it RB plus, and I know it has 12, 24, and 36 inside it. I know 12, 24, and 36, they are inside it. So just for this example, to understand it, I have these 3 gone. And now I want to read supposedly the second value. So this is over here. I will make it 2 minus 1. So now I want to read 24 over here, the second record over there. So now will this give me, because now I am RB plus. Remember, I am not creating a file. The old file is already there. That is binary.dat available over there. So now when I am going to run this, 24. So you can see now the problem is the modes very importantly. If you make WB plus, it erases the previous one and then make it. So remember, specifically for lab number 14, whenever you are going to make a file, make it inside the main function. When you have made it WB, made it, never use WB again. Never use WB again. I'm again repeating. If you are making a code, supposedly as per your examples given or as per the sample set for the lab number 14 given. If you have been given a sample code, based on that, make a file. If supposedly you have been asked to make 500 entries inside your file, make 500 entries. Now, supposedly how you are going to make those 500 entries. So for example, let's say, in fact, let me just make a new file over there. Let me just give you, I'm making this one for you people. So let's say I have a file over there. Let's just say I call it lab 14 example.c. And here I'm pasting this file. Now, what are you going to do inside the main function? Inside the main function, so let's just say I call it lab14.dat, and I am going to call it wb, and it's just going to be write. Okay, it's just going to be writing. It's going to open and it's going to write inside the main function. And before the main function, since all of your lab 14 programs are going to be based on some structure, so let's say structure over there, and you have like structure, supposedly bank account, bank underscore account, and here inside bank account you have an integer account number, account underscore number. You have the character, uh, brackets open, you have the name over there, and inside it you have like maybe not 30 is, or let's just call it first name, f name, and here you have character, last name, and you have again the 30 over there, and let's just say the integer, or let's just say float balance over there. So you have a structure over there. Okay, you have a structure over there, and that structure is being made over there using this thing over there. So now this structure is made over there. Now you have to store this structure inside your file. You are going to create a lab14.dat or whatever the file name you have been asked in your question in your lab over there. Now here in the main function, before doing to any menu or something, what I'm going to do over there, over here, I'm just going to, you have been told you have to make a 500 account in that file. So what you are going to do, listen this very carefully. Here, you are going to make a structure, and let's just say structure bank underscore account, and here you are going to call it dummy, just a dummy account. And inside that dummy account over here, let's just say account number is 0, supposedly. Then this is going to be empty. Next, last name empty, and balance is 0.00. So what I have done, I have made a structure which is empty. Now making it empty is not going to take the size away from it. It will still be the same size. Now, what size it will have? Let's just calculate it. For example, I have the structure bank underscore account. How many bytes it will take? It will take 4 bytes. How many bytes this will take? This is a character. Each character takes 1 byte. So this will be 20 bytes. How many bytes this will take? This will also take 20 bytes. How many characters this will take, or how many bytes this will take? I guess this will take 4 bytes if I'm not wrong. Hopefully double takes, I guess, 8 bytes if I'm not wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong over there. So I have to have 20 plus 20, 40, 48 bytes every time for a structure to be saved inside your file. I'm making this file, and here I'm going to initialize a for loop int x equal to 0. X plus x is less than, let's say, 100. It's going to go from 0 to 99, of course, and then x plus plus. And over here inside this thing, the for loop, I am going to write down, since I'm making a new file, remember this is going to be fwrite, brackets open, and here I am going to write down and dummy, comma, what is the next value? Just to verify I'm not doing any some mistake over there. For fwrite, the command is size of the structure, then how many commands I want to write down, and then bfptr. So that will be size of, here I will write down size of. Now this time I'm not going to use size of integer. I have a structure over there, and I am going to use this word size of structure bank account. So this will be size of structure bank account. And here, what I'm going to write down, I'm just going to write down 1, comma, bfptr. So what this command is going to do, Remember this thing. Now, this command particularly, I'm just going to take it a little forward like this. So what this loop is going to do, it's going to run 100 times and create 100 entries inside your file. When these are done, 100 entries are now created. They are empty. They are totally empty with the ID name, account number, zero, names, whatever, empty, but they are taking the same space, that is 48 bytes over there. And then close the file, and this is the only thing you have to do inside the main function. When you have done this file, let's just say you have done this. Now, afterwards, I'm just going to run it. Now it's going to create that file over there. Let's just see. I hope so I have not done some mistake over there. I have not selected something. Okay, yes. So now what has done, lab14.dat has been created with 100 entries inside. Now, let's just say after you have done this thing, I have that file pointer. Now, let's just say I copy this thing all, that cold close file and all this stuff over there. This is that main function over there. So I will just copy this thing from here. And here, let's just say I want to add an entry. I want to add an entry at supposingly the first over there. So let's say I want to add a function over here. Let's just say that function is add underscore entry. And inside it entry over there, let's say I am just adding something, account number 1. And the name of that account is, let's say, on my name, Arsalan. And here I have inside comma, I have A Rahim. Here I have the account add entry. And I guess, and account balance is $1,000. So this is that function which I'm calling. And just above the main function, let me just initialize that. It's going to be void add underscore, what was the function name? If I'm not, add underscore entry. So I'm going to make a new function, add underscore entry. And inside that add underscore entry over there, I'm going to add the account number. So this will be integer account underscore number. And then I will be having Arsalan. This will be character array actually. This will be character F name. This will be character F name, and this will be character L name. Again, an array. And then it will be float balance over there. So this is the prototype of that function which I've done over there. Now, just going to make this function now below, or just the description of that function below over there. And now I'm going to write down this function. And inside this function, now see this very carefully. Now, inside this parameter, I am not passing any pointer. Now, I have to pass that pointer as well. So for that purpose over there, inside add underscore entry, let's just add another file pointer over there. That will be file bfptr over there, like this. And over here, this will be file static bfptr. And this will be my file bfptr. And inside it, now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this thing, which I have done over there, this thing. And over here, what I'm going to do, this BFPTR, I know this BFPTR is going to be over here. This will be BFPTR. This is going to be sent on to the function. This is that file BFPTR over there. And just to verify that I'm not doing any mistake, that same thing is being shown over there inside this code over there. This is that same main function as I was telling you over there. And the function which I am implementing at present, just to give you an idea, that I'm sending a file over here. Now this is a sending a file over there, just like it over there, or a file PTR. Now here I'm sending that data also from the main function. Okay. Here the function name is update record. Now here what I'm doing inside my example over there, which I'm writing down in front of you, I'm sending the data also from the main function. So all the input is being done from the main function as well. You can do that otherwise as well, totally up to you. So here when I'm sending this BFPTR, so this if BFPTR is f open, and now this time I just want to write down something. This will be RB plus, or since I only want to now this time write inside the file. Now I only want to write down inside the file in a binary file. So I can just add the WB command. I can just add the WB command, and that will write down inside the file over there. So if I just write down WB command over there, and when you have done this over there, inside the else over there, what I'm going to do now, this time I am going to fwrite command over there. I'm just going to write down this fwrite command. And before that fwrite command, I am going to have fseek over there, the same command, because I know which point do I want to go it over there. Supposingly the account number, this one is that account number. So this is that account number I want to go on. So this means that this account underscore number is that location at which I want to add this entry. So what I will do over there, let me just copy the fseek file over there. The fseek file is this thing. So this will be, I'm just going to copy it over there. So this is my fseek BFPTR. And here, instead of 2 over there, I am just going to write account underscore number over there, multiplied by size of. Now here, instead of integer, I am going to write down struct. And here, this will be bank underscore account number. And here from the 0, this is going to be. Now, instead of dummy, I am not going to write down inside over there. I am going to write down the whole structure which I have over there. Now here the structure is not there. Now remember, I don't have the structure over there. I have the initial values coming in over there. Now for that purpose, the way is very simple. When you are coming inside a function over there, I will show you that one as well. Whenever you are coming inside a function, and that function here is in front of you, let's just say you have to update a record. Now see this thing, you have to have a structure over there, and that structure is going to be again based on the values which you have over there. So you are going to enter a data. So whatever value it's coming on over there, the best way is it, you just make a structure and the initial value in the main function, and you can call that structure again over there. But since here in my function, I am taking the values individually, copy by value they are coming in. Copy by value they are coming in. So here I am first of all going to make a structure over there, and I am going to call that structure again dummy, let's just say, and that is this time going to be. So what I'm going to call it inside my else statement, I'm going to call it structure bank account dummy, and here instead of account number, I'm going to write down this account underscore number. Here over there, this is going to be the same account number over there. And inside it, I'm going to call it the F name over there. And here I'm going to call it the L name over there. And here I'm going to call it the balance over there. So what I'm done, I have created a dummy bank underscore account structure because the values are coming individually. If it was a structure, then it could be accessed by all the functions, which means that this was a structure created over there inside the main function, the data that was going to take as a scan of input from the user. And then I was not going to have this inside my parameter, but here deliberately I've made it value coming in. So I am making all of this data inside a structure and then putting this structure inside fwrite. Size of the structure bank account 1 BFPTR, and then this is going to be closed. So what I'm going to do now, when I'm going to call this function, this BFPTR 1 comma slan a rahim 1000, now that particular data is going to be added at this location. That is the first location over there. Why first location? Because account underscore number will be 1. So 1 minus 1, 0 multiplied by. So this will be offset will be 0. So fseek makes the cursor or the file position pointer at that particular point. So when I'm going to run this code now remember previously 100 entries are created by the main loop. That code is WB over there. So, sorry, WB plus over there. Let me just make it WB plus over there. That is going to be WB plus, because if you remember it, just going back on again over there, sorry, I have to scroll down back again and again for the modes. Best way it, please copy this mode table in front of you so you know what is actually happening. Because whenever you are going to read this code over there, so WB plus creates or erases the previous file. WPs writes the binary file over there. So I'm just creating a new file in the first code, closing the file, and then again, when I'm having a new function, I am just read or write. I can call it RB also, but here I want to actually put some data inside over there. WB is not going to make it again. It's just going to add that data inside it afterwards over there. And afterwards, now let's just say I run this code now. Okay, I have an issue over there. F name, L name. What's the issue over there? I have character F name. There should be no issue over there because I have the character F name and L name coming in over there. Okay, actually, I'm not actually, I'm taking this as a string directly. So practically, I have to call it as a pointer. Let's just say I have to call it as a pointer over there. And I have to initialize this one also as a pointer because I'm taking as a constant from there over there like this thing. So I have this F name and L name over there. I have still the error over there. Okay, I guess have this issue. Why I have this issue? Okay, and I have this F name, L name. Sorry, not the pointer because I'm not talking about the pointer at present. So F name and L name. I guess if I use this parenthesis over there for, so no, this will not be again. This will be an issue because F name and L name, they are arrays. So I'm just passing the whole array over there inside this structure over there. And this should work actually because this is a character array. And I am putting A, Rahim, and Arsalan inside it over there. So practically this should be working. Whenever we encounter, remember, anyone can have a problem over there. Let's just see first of all the error. Incompatible pointer to integer conversion, initializing character with an integer of expression of type character, dereferencing with static. Okay, what's the issue? So let's just say I put it in a static over there and a static over there. So will dereferencing work over there or not? Okay, so that's what. So why? That's because that was a value coming on over there, and I'm just having that value as a constant being raised over there. So that's why. So now what has happened? Entry has been added over there. Entry has been added over there inside it. So now over there, let's just say entry has been added over there. So let's just say I run this code again. Now, even if I run this code again, and this time I add at second location, let's just say this is Bilal Ahmed having this issue. And now when I run it, this is still run. Now two entries are added over there. They are 100 entries, but they are dummy entries over there. And here I am adding two entries over there. Now, afterwards, this entry, when I've done this thing, let's just say I want to read that entry over there. For that purpose, again, I can make a new function as well, totally up to me. But let's just say I just want to see what is there. So what I will this time do, now see what I'm doing. I'm again using that if condition after closing the file. Now this time this will be RB. I just want to read the file. Remember, I just want to read the file. And let's say I want to print the entry at 1 and 2 over there. And inside the else statement, let's say I just take it away from it. And inside the else statement, I will first of all seek the cursor over there. And that cursor, let's say I want to go with the second value over there. Okay, the second value over there. And I want to read something. Let's say I want to read something over there. And here inside it, let me just call it a struct. bank underscore account dummy. Again, a dummy is created. Let's just say call it structure. Let's just call it read over there. Nothing fancy over there. And here I'm going to call it read over there. Okay. And what I'm doing over there, I'm reading that one from the file over there. And after one, I have read it, printf, I'm just going to print it f over there. The account number is equal to percentage d, and that is going to be read dot account number over there. And let's just say, and again, I'm going to read it again. Let's just say I have 4 values over there. So the first name is equal to, so this will be read dot f name. This will be read dot last name and read dot balance. And here, remember, don't miss this thing. This should be S, this should be S, and this should be F over there. This is a float value. So now what I'm doing over there, after these two have been done, let me just add some comment. So this is the, now I am reading the file named as lab14.dat and print the values from uh, second entry, let's say, or any other entry. Here I'm just having the second entry because I have hard coded it 2 over there. You can make it inside a variable, and you can make all of this inside a for loop also and read all the values as well. You can do that one as well. So this is printf account number read dot balance. So now just run it and see that does it print over there. Let me just add those backslash n's over there, because then it will not be. Remember one thing, in your lab 14, you have to make the readability of your code and your output very much good. That has to be very good. So when I will just run it, let's just say, okay, so I have account number 2. First name is BA, account number and account number. I don't, okay, I have not changed this one. This is the last name actually. The account last name. And this is the balance. So I have this thing. So first name BA, Bilal and Ahmed are there. So let's just again run it. Okay. Account number is 2. Okay. Well and good. No issues. First name is BA. Why it's BA? Oh, no, that's actually a problem. Why this is BA? Read dot F name. Read dot F name. This should be giving me Bilal actually. Let's just say this is 1. Let's say this is 1. And this is WB plus. I have no issues over there. So I'm just writing it down. Okay, account number 0 is having no entry over there. So if I just change it to, let's say, 3 over there, it should be 0, a dummy entry over there. Okay, the account number is there. So this means there is some issue over there. So let's just say, okay, one thing would be a very good thing. Please don't worry because of the delays and problems which even I am encountering. You always learn with the problems encountered. Now, what I'm doing, I am doing this all inside a structure, sorry, inside a for loop. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to repeat this 100 times. And here, this is going to be going from 1 to 100. And this is going to be X. So now when I'm going to run it, okay, BA. So account number 2 is always there. Why account number 2 is always there? Because every time I am f seeking, so this is going to be x minus 1 into size of structure bank underscore account. So this is stuck somewhere and it is just always giving me balance of 0. So let's just correct it. No problem. Don't worry on this one. So now I'm reading the file over there. So I have a problem somewhat here, I guess. So this is 0, account number is 0, and this is empty. This is empty. This is 0.00. My float load balance is there. That's okay. First of all, this is WB plus over there. It's creating a file and it is writing the file over there. Acha, one thing very important, when I'm writing down, let's just say, because whenever you are making debugging, I'm not adding any entry now. And by default, let's just say I'm adding 1 over there. And here I'm adding Arsalan, and I'm adding a Rahim over there. So let's say all 100 values are going to have this value. So let's see now, does this print the same or not? Because maybe the adding entry is giving a problem. Okay, now this is working. This is working exactly fine. So you can see over there, I added one Arslan Arahim 10.00, and everywhere you have account number one, Arslan Arahim 10.00. So this means this is working fine. My reading is also working fine over there. The problem is with the adding the entry over there. The adding the entry is the problem over there. So now let's just see. I've got the problem. The problem is there. So adding the entry, maybe I guess that pointer is giving me a problem. This F name and L name over there. Okay, so let's just say adding the entry. I open this now, and instead of Arslan Rahim, I am adding over there. Let's just say this is, let's just take, I add my father's name over there, Abdul Rahim, and he has a little more than me money, $2,000 over there. So now inside add entry, I have this BFPTR. This BFPTR is equal to a write command over there. Uh, just confirm again that WB is going to be the writing the binary file. That's completely okay. No issues with that. And then afterwards, struct back command running. Maybe I have a problem over here. This is account underscore number going inside it. This is character F name. This is coming on file. This is L name, and this is balance. And now account underscore number into this, and dummy. So maybe the name of this has to be changed. So insert structure. Let's just change, because previously dummy was already structure. So maybe that is the issue. Maybe this is the issue. So I'm just making a new over there, insert underscore structure. This is going to be insert underscore structure. So now insert underscore structure, and now let's see what happens. So now let's just see. Maybe the problem, it should be solved now. Okay, I have now all the values are changed to 1 and AR. The last name is nothing, just AR. Why AR? So I guess I am doing a problem. Okay, I guess the problem is this, that when I'm adding an entry, the first letters A and R are there. The balance goes on to 0.000. And so the problem is with my F name and L name over there. Acha, just to verify that I'm not doing any mistake over there, let's just say, because I have to find out the problem. So what I'm going to do now, let's just see over there what I'm going to do. I'm calling this function, but inside this function, when I'm going to make this structure bank underscore account and insert underscore structure. So I'm now going to put hard coded value. So I'm going to put 1 comma this thing, and I'm going to make this thing comment out. And here this will be like this. So what I'm doing now, remember this thing, what I'm doing, I'm calling the function. I am calling the function over there. It has some values inside it. So maybe the problem is it that this Abdul Rahim is not going inside this parameters over there, this array, and it's not taking by this pointer over there. The pointer should be actually working fine over there, but it's not working. So I'm hard coding some value here inside the else statement, and then adding that insert underscore structure. Now what should happen? Only one entry should be changed over there. And for that purpose, let's just run this program again. Okay, now I have 111 at every given point and 2000. So this is working fine, but it is writing down the value at every 100 values over there. Why? That is the problem. So the problem is that I have a file. So $2,000 is added over there for each entry. Why? It should not be there, because if this is a for loop statement for fwrite, I have just done it for 1 Arslan Rahim 10.00, and I am not calling this function. If I don't call this function and I run this thing, I have 1 Arslan Rahim, which I have ordered 10.00 is there. Let me just make it a little larger. But when I call this function add underscore entry, and bfptr is called over there, and when I call this function, and I open it for WB, which means I'm writing down this function, and I have to rewrite the function, rewrite the value. So why it replaces all the values? I only wanted to do it for one account underscore number, and account underscore number is equal to 1 over there, where the calling I'm function is 1 over there. So let's just say I call it for 2 over there. So this should now only work for, okay, the first one is empty. The second one is changed over there. The third one is also changed. The fourth one is also changed. The fifth one is also changed. So the problem is somewhat here. The problem is because of this function which I'm calling. And my instinct says that this is something to do with the mode of it, because the whole file is being changed over there. So I'm writing down the binary file. I'm not opening the find file over there. So I guess if I'm not wrong, let's just say I've not done anything mistake over there. So you are updating the record over there, and you are opening the file over there. You have the file pointer opened over there, and this is completely okay. This is the count number -1. You have no issues over there. You have a structure. You are reading. This is actually updating the record. So this has nothing to do with over there. And I have example as well from the book over there. I actually do not want to use that example here in front of you. I wanted to actually show you that if you have this, where is the function over there? Now I have this is the same function. I want to actually show you. Yes, this one. This is that function. Oh, not this one actually. Yes, this one. Yes, this one. This is that function. Update the record. This is that file pointer. And so you are writing the record over old record in file. So you are fseeking, everything is fine, and you are writing down. But this writing down the file and the mode is not changed over there. This is actually the problem. So update record. Maybe I have to actually change the update record and CFPTR. Okay, so they are doing RB plus. So RB plus opens the file only one time and then you close it, but you are not opening when you want to make a, this is a text file actually. This has nothing to do with that thing. So when you are actually making a file, so let's just change the mode over there. Let's just change the mode. Maybe this will solve our problem. So when you are again opening the file after closing this file, when you are making this function, this is RB plus over there. RB, no, this is going to be RB already. So this is going to be WB. So let's see, this is RB plus over there. I'm actually entering the data over there. So this is RB plus over there. And this is closing the file. And this is something like this. Let's see what happens. The problem is actually with, okay, now this is, yes, now the problem is solved. See, the mode is actually the problem. So what I'm doing over there, please see this thing. I started with a pointer. I opened it for WB plus because I have to make a new file. After making the new file, I am putting in dummy values over there. Now I can make it into 0 and into empty. The mode is actually always the problem. So be very, very careful. See, I have spent a lot of time on this thing. And here, this is going to be supposedly at 1 and let's say 2 over there. And here I'm adding this thing over there. So I can now take this thing away and I can have the whole structure, account name over there like this. So now entry is being added. So what I'm doing now, let's just see now. I'm again giving you the full description of it. I'm adding a dummy value 100 times 0, empty 0.00, and I am closing the file. File is closed. Now I have to again open the file. This time I want to add an entry. For adding the entry, the mode which I am doing over here is RB plus. Okay. And now whatever values I have made a insert underscore structure and inserting that inside the file at that particular point where I want to add that account number. The value I want to add at that particular time is at account number 2. So this means the first location will remain empty and that will always be 0, empty, empty, 0.00. So now when I do it, let's say I've run this code over there. So you can see now the first account number is Aslan Rahim is 00, but account number 2 is added over there as the first name is AR. Now this AR is actually coming on. The problem is that here you are sending in F name and N name as the pointers over there. And this is when going inside it and over there, it is just taking the first alphabets over there. It's not taking the whole array over there. Now solve this and tell me that I found the problem over there. In the comment section, tell me if I want the first name and the last name both to be having that whole Arslan Rahim over there, then what I have to change over here in these two statements over there. Tell me on this thing and I will tell you the you're right or wrong on this. But the only change that is done over here is this thing, account number 2. The remaining ones, the remaining 98 of the accounts, they are still the same. Now I can do this very simply as well. Over there, I can add another entry. Let's say I want to add another entry at the 100th location. Okay. Now this time I'm going to add it and I'm just going to run it again over there. So when I run it, you can see now account number 100, the first name is BA added last name. Now this is the problem because only B capital and A capital are coming in. The remaining words are skipped. Why that is skipped? You have to tell me the problem. The problem is coming on because of this array, character array, and this pointer over there. You have to tell me what should be the problem or what should be the solution of this one so that otherwise the problem is being actually working fine over there. So you are actually adding this entry and you are reading this entry over there. I have even got something from this long session. I have tried to make it from the very scratch, a structure, a pointer over there. In the comment section, do give me the solution for this issue when you are adding this hard coded over there and the problem is occurring over there because of this pointer over there in the comment section. Otherwise, the file is being created, that is binary dot the file is lab14.dat. And just to show you that lab14.dat, if I delete it, let's say if I delete it and again run this code and I again have this one, so you can see now everything is 0. This one is changed to this thing. So the problem is because just of that pointer, you have to tell me the solution for that. The solution is very simple. The solution is very simple. You have to change something here and here. Sorry, this thing where I for calling this thing, I have actually minimized something, I guess. Sorry, this one. You have to change something over here and you have to change something over here. You have to tell me what is that. Rest, everything is clear. So I hope kindly go through these slides over there. I have made my own example and tried to explain you how you are actually going to make a file. The problem is always the modes. Remember, the modes are always a problem, and always have this table in front of you whenever you are making any file, either a binary file or a text file, and this is always going to be helpful. Okay. Meet you in the next part where I will be discussing only the three different parts over there which are left in this chapter. The remaining ones I have talked about everything in chapter number 11 in this part. If any other questions, write down in the comments section below and I will ask it or answer it inside the part number 4 of this. Thank you.